of that music and those boring legal words means that we are ready for another hour of Trade Masters. Trade Masters show where two expert traders come, they bring picks, and they make me money. I think that's how we wrote up the product description, but it has been very true. Coaches come, 5 picks each on Trade Masters. They can be any kind of picks, long-term investments, cash flow, position trades, short-term plays, whatever. 5 of their best picks. And then at the end, we crown a winner, not based on the jokes they tell in between. And I love it. I seriously, this is one of the favorite hours of my work week because I get to sit back, take notes, think about what other people have done in their work, and then evaluate those at night and see if I want to do those trades in the coming days. So we have a battle that we've had several times on Trade Masters. It's always an epic clash when Tyler, Craig, and Greg. And Greg, you're the defending champ, so I'm not even going to give Tyler any salutations. But how are you doing, Greg?
I'm doing fantastic.
You got some Canadian jokes for me tonight?
I think I got one thrown in the mix with all the drinking jokes. Yeah.
I was going to say there are at least a couple drinking jokes, right?
Yeah, actually, at least a couple. Yeah.
All right, Tyler, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. I'm jazzed. I got a lot of good picks. So,
Greg, that is the eye of the tiger.
He's bringing it. He's bringing it.
He's tense. He wants the belt back. We'll see. Listen, the picks will determine. Whims will determine. The fate will determine. Destiny is all. Greg, let's go. Round 1. Who goes first, Greg? As defending champion, you get to decide.
Hey, you want to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. So I'll defer to my buddy Tyler.
All right, Tyler, you're up. Round 1.
Okie dokie. All right. So I brought a diversified list. I've got quite a few different themes that'll be represented in these picks. Okay. I'm going to, and that's a good thing because what it means is there's quite a bit out there, right? Which I think is indicative of the overall health of the market. So I'm going to start with oil. I think we all know crude oil's been hot. We got a nice little pullback in crude oil, had a reversal candle today. The energy sector still looks great. Mark, they couldn't even get it down for 3 days. Okay, 2 days down, right back up. So the bid beneath the surface remains in place. So I found quite a few nice little pullbacks. Little smooching going on with your 9 EMA here, Mark. And so I'm going to go with Apache, APA. And let me clean this up just a wee bit. Couple things I like. Number 1, earnings is out of the way. Didn't deter its uptrend one bit. Number 2, lovely momentum on the last advance. Volume was fantastic. You had some big accumulation coming into energy. Completely ignored the recent market drama. You got your 2-bar pullback. Today kisses the 9 EMA, also at an old resistance zone. Little bullish reversal candle right off that 9 EMA. Yeah. This pattern is prevalent. I found a handful. Apache is just the one I think that I liked the best. This is
you like it best because of the momentum on the way up, and then
that was part of it. It has a cheaper price. The cleanliness of the pullback too with today's bar. You can find quite a few. You go look at the energy sector and liquid names, you'll find similar setups. But yes, the momentum, the volume, the cleanliness of the pullback, the ease at which I can build a trade based off today's reversal candle. So simple bull retracement pattern here. Trigger would be over today's high. If you wanted a tight stop, I think you could stop today's low. I think you could target 24 as target 1, and then beyond that, maybe 25, 26, target 2. This sets up well for a basic stock trade if you want to play stock. Otherwise, if you're playing options, I actually like a little bull call spread here, Mark. The out-of-the-money calls are kind of juicy, so I like selling them against the one I'm buying. It's a $21 stock. You could buy the 20 call, sell the 25, get a pretty good little risk reward. I don't think I'd go that far out in time because if it doesn't work, I'm going to get out pretty quick. And so with a tight stop loss, I don't need a 3-month bull call spread. So I'm going to buy a 20 call for April. Could leave it at that, but you look at these out of the monies and it's like, I'll sell the 25, bring in $1, cut my cost by 1/3, get a nice little $5 spread, $2 cost. I'm risking $2 to make 3. It's 150% potential return. And I think 25 is doable. think 25 is doable.
So lots of ways to play it, right? I can buy a call. I can buy the stock outright. It's pretty cheap. Probably the way I'll play it. I like the setup. I always looking at adding a little extra oil exposure. I mean, it's been a relentless trend, right? And it doesn't look like it's stopping.
It has. It has. And you know, every time you get that second bar down, it's like, okay, you know, let's see. Let's give me a third. Give me a fourth. Nope. Right back up.
Yeah, no, there's just lots of inflows. In value and pick, I saw a stat today that money has flowed into value for the 10th straight week. The value area of the market is hot. There's money flowing in and probably room to run. It's a good trade up. It's just like textbook great. Textbook great. Now, is your joke textbook great?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. What's Forrest Gump's email password?
Jenny, I don't know.
One, Forrest, one.
Okay, not bad. A little corny. I don't know if my kids have seen Forrest Gump. Have your kids seen Forrest Gump?
No. Can I tell you a Forrest Gump story?
Yes.
You'll appreciate this. So when I was a kid, we went to see Forrest Gump in the theaters. And if you'll remember, it shows, what's the girl's name again? Jenny, right?
Jenny.
When she's playing her guitar, shows her bum.
Mm-hmm.
My mom did not know that was coming. She put her hands over our eyes and she walked us out of the theater.
Wow. So let me get this straight. In 1992, you were a kid? What is that all about?
Yeah, Greg and I, like, we weren't kids.
8 years old, maybe. Yeah, my mom took us right out. That was it for us.
He's the youngster, Greg. Hey,
Yeah,
great pick though. Great setup. Great area of the market. I have no doubt you'll not let us down here, Greg. Round one,
hey,
sir.
You know what? I see your oil and I raise you a double oil. Let's go to ConocoPhillips, please. All right. This is sweet, simple, and I'm loving all the strength. Obviously, we got the oil on a tear. This thing is setting up beautifully. It's a few of my favorite things. Number one, it's a beautiful high base. You can see that it's just been trimming along for the last 4 days. It's sitting right at a nice round number of 60. It's actually got increasing momentum as it's been moving upwards, which is nice. Just a rock solid stock. This could be played in a number of ways. ConocoPhillips is actually a decent dividend payer. So if you wanted to just buy into the stock and kind of put it as a portfolio thing, I wouldn't have an issue with that. The trade I actually like better than that is a bull call on this thing. I love the breakout of 60. If we go out, I think I went out 44 days there, April 23rd. And if we grab the 60 and sell the 70, I think we were about 3-to-1 if I remember correctly. So 230 debit for $10 spread. So you're somewhere in the neighborhood of a 3-to-1 risk reward there. So I love the bull call of this. Again, energy sector, you can't keep it down. This thing's just been flying high, much like all the rest of the oil. Reversal candle in oil today. All the things that Tyler said, I couldn't agree with more. I just really, really like this thing. It's building energy. It has a history of when it breaks out, it gets a pretty decent move. And I fully expect that, especially above this 60 level.
I mean, we got a couple. I mean, we got something. I mean, oil's obviously something we've talked about at Tackle Trading for a long time now. The run has not disappointed us. During that market volatility, I know the oil portion of my portfolio, a couple of days I was like, thank goodness for oil, right? And yes. All of this bloodbath and mess and this and that. Now, you don't want to have 100% exposure to oil. You don't have 50%. You don't want to have 30%. You want something, though. And if you don't have something, there's a little bit of everything to like here. Pullback in Apache producer, refiner, high base breakout, room to run, too, on the chart. If you're looking at a longer term position trade, we go to a multi-year weekly chart here, Tyler.
Yeah. If you look at the 3-year weekly, this thing can get to 70, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that and you hesitated at the 200. There's still room to run. This is one of the hottest areas in the market. Reopening theme, value theme where money's rotating into. Saudi and OPEC. Keeping production down it's just a wonderful thing, and it's just a good area. So if you don't have any exposure, here's a couple good trades. One nice little high base pattern with room to run, Apache. That's sixes in my book on round one. Both great trades. Can you beat Forrest Gump?
Forrest Gump joke. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be as PG as Tyler is, but a man walks into a rooftop bar and takes a seat next to another guy. Says, "What are you drinking?" He asks the guy. The guy says, "Magic beer." He says, "Oh yeah, what's so magical about it?" So then he shows him. He swigs some beer, dives off the roof, flies around the building, and finally returns to his seat with a triumphant smile. "Amazing," the man says. "Let me try some of that." Man grabs the beer, he downs it, leaps off the roof, and plummets 15 stories to the ground. Bartender shakes his head and says, "You know, you're a real jerk when you're drunk, Superman."
we get a comic book Canadian drunk joke.
Yeah. The trifecta, buddy.
You know,
the
I'm
trifecta.
sure somewhere out there is an alcohol-based Canadian joke on every Marvel and DC character somewhere.
So next week's Trade Master, I'll find more for you.
All right, listen, obviously, two great setups, dead heat heading into round two. Tyler, what you got?
Let's go to financials. So financials have also been a part of the whole rotation into value. These do better with the economy reopening, of course, and interest rates work to the benefit of financials. And so what is the kryptonite, to continue the Superman references, the kryptonite for growth stocks, that the rising interest rate scare works directly to the benefit of financials. Remember, it's long-term interest rates that are rising, not short-term interest rates. Banks borrow money at short-term rates and they lend money at long-term rates. When the difference between those two widens, they make more money, and Wall Street likes that. So the financial sector looks great. I was going through all the top holdings in this, and I came across JP Morgan, and it just looked tasty to me because of its high base. Nice little high base here. The 9 EMA not only did it not break the 20 SMA last week with all the nonsense, didn't even close below the 9 EMA, which I think is very impressive. You thought the bid beneath energy was good. This was even
We call
better.
this an Alpha 1 pattern.
Alpha 1?
High base, holding the 9, compression.
Is it Alpha 1 or Alpha 9? So how's that different?
Oh, yeah, it's Alpha 9. Excuse me. You're right. It's Alpha 9.
Okay. Alpha 9 pattern. All right. So got a nice little Alpha 9 pattern here. If you look at the other financials, they've already broken out, most of them. So I think this follows suit. And I think you got a good runway up towards 160, 165. It's just, a low risk entry in a strong sector, in a leader in that particular sector. So I was looking at, volatility is pretty low. So if you're going to try to sell credit spreads, you're not going to get paid much. You can't get that far out of the money. The IB rank is at the 5th percentile. So kind of like Greg's commentary on the ConocoPhillips, I'm thinking the same thing here. That is a bull call vertical spread. Of course, you can do a stock trade if you want. I would just trigger over today's high. But Mark, I like keeping this simple. I like buying the 155 call for April monthly, sell the 160. I think it's around $2 or so. So let's take a quick peek here. Again, I don't think I need a ton of time, because if it breaks the low of the base, I'm out. So if I'm swing trading this, I don't need a ton of time. So 155. I'd probably do $10 for it, actually. 155, 165, $3.50.
So I could go either way, right? If I wanted a lower amount, I go the 155, 160.
Yep.
Or I could, if I want, and that would put me at about
$2.
All right. So both have great risk rewards.
Yep.
Outstanding. When do I get in? Tell me when I get in. What do I just need to break that high, which is just pennies above?
Yeah. I think if this goes up at all tomorrow, you're in.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what you would wait for. I mean, you look at this thing, if you want a cleaner look intraday, go 30-day, 30-minute. I hate the after hours. Let me clean this up. 2 seconds. You're going to see that crap. I mean, depending on, you can see it tried to break out today. So you take out today's high. That's it. I mean, you're out of the base. You assume it follows through.
I don't have a lot of short-term financial plays. Wouldn't mind some. That's a beautiful pattern, beautiful thing. Aces again. Can you beat your own Forrest Gump joke? I don't think it'll be hard.
I got another dad joke here. What did the Indian kid say to his mother when he left for school? Mom, bye.
Bye. All right, so I can't tell my kids the Forrest Gump joke because they won't get it, and I'm a terrible parent, and they're geographically challenged. But if I teach them India, that would be a funny dad joke. I'm sure your kids, because you're smart and smug and all of that. I actually like that.
Well, maybe they would know Mumbai. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll see tonight. Yeah.
All right, Greg, 2 quality picks out of Tyler, like textbook stuff there.
Awesome.
Tyler is just like, no, I'm winning tonight, you know?
Yeah, not a chance. All right, bringing the heat now for all my long-term investors. I need CNQ, please.
CNQ.
CNQ, Canadian National Resources, for all the Canadian folks out there. This is about as simple as trades get. Simple stock trade here. Pushing up hard against that 32 level. It's the breakout of 32 that I want. This is a rock solid dividend payer. I believe they have at least 4 years of consecutive dividend increases and 20 plus years of paying dividends. So they've got a history. The dividend happens to be coming out in, I don't know, about a week or so. So entry into this trade gives you that little, that spicy little dividend to go with it. Plus you've got room to run. So for me, like I said, buying in above 32, anywhere above 32 is a good entry point. If you want to make this a swing trade, get your stop loss below that sideways chop there around 30. If you want to use it as a position trade, which is your prerogative as well, just due to the fundamental nature of it, then you could obviously widen your stop or have some kind of other exit plan to go with it. Frankly, I think this is a portfolio builder. It takes advantage of higher oil prices, things like that as well. So it's got room to run. 38 to 40 is a longer term target there. It's just one of those plays where it's still inexpensive. A $32 stock, folks with smaller accounts can still get involved. Like I said, you can collect that dividend almost immediately. Just a nice simple stock trade. No must.
I'm reviewing their last, because I don't follow. See, I know they're one of the biggest oil and gas companies in Canada, right? This is not a small company.
No.
I'm just looking at their last couple earnings report. They smashed it.
Yeah.
Both times, like smashed it.
Yeah.
You know how to make money. Like if you bring me a long-term play, Greg, I already know you've done your homework. So you like this from a fundamental perspective. You like this company, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, and those earnings reports were juicy.
Calls are liquid enough too. You could do covered calls as an overlay too, right, Greg?
Yes, absolutely. Anything that I ever bring to you guys whatsoever will also be a covered call candidate. There's really not too much out there because me, they call me Old Money Holmes for a reason, and it's basically because I feel I come out of the womb selling covered calls. So
I like this because I've been looking at oil and gas plays, and there's a lot of oil and gas producers out there, aren't there? And I got a lot of plays, but from a investment standpoint, I like where your head's at. I like those earnings reports were just amazing. They were just amazing. I mean, imagine what they're going to make when that oil's actually higher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, OPEC.
That is a good quality position / long-term investment idea. That's what I like about TradeMasters. All kinds of stuff, right? Short-term trades, credit spreads. Good long-term investment idea. I'm definitely going to look at this from a position trade standpoint. Now, I'm going to see if your joke is a position that I'm going to be telling for weeks and weeks to come, or if I'm going to quickly get the stop loss on it right now.
All right. Well, if Tyler's bringing out the dad jokes, I'll bring out the one that I have that's closest to a dad joke. I was playing chess with my friend, and he said, "Let's make this interesting." So we stopped playing chess.
I like that one.
It would be my son telling me that playing checkers. I can't beat him at checkers anymore. Is there a secret to checkers? Because he seems to beat me 8 out of 9 times we play.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played checkers
I know. Well,
since
listen,
I was a little
like,
kid.
It's humbling.
Yeah.
It's humbling. Humble us all, Tyler. Round 3.
All right, I like the pivot to materials. I got a materials play. This whole space has been good. And I don't know, Greg, would you say Canadian, is this more oil, more materials, or both?
Both. They're actually, they've got a wide range of stuff that these guys do actually.
Okay. So this is going to be one, we've talked about before, but I was looking at Alcoa, and the whole idea with inflation and commodity prices coming back, you're seeing that continue to permeate in the material space, lifting the whole industry. Alcoa doing very, very well. I don't want to trade Alcoa, but I use this just as an example of this type of strength we're seeing in this space. I still like FCX. And this has been a moneymaker for me on the cash flow side. I like this for a couple of reasons. First of all, I like the shakeout. I like the shakeout we had last week when everything fell apart for 2 reasons. Number one, it shakes out the weak hands. Okay. And
it really does, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it does. And why is that a good thing? Well, they come running back the next time it rips higher because it got shaken out. And so when you shake out that supply, it's just maybe less crap it's got to work through when it goes up the next time, and it pulls those buyers back in. The other thing I like about it is it's held up since that shakeout. I like the little coiling here. I like that we haven't gone back and retested the lows. And I continue to like copper. It's constructive with this consolidation pattern. We talked about it today in the halftime report. I think ultimately this is a pause that refreshes higher, and I think it takes copper stocks like FCX along with it. So I just think the consolidation is sound, and pausing patterns in this have been buys since March. So I don't want to get overly cute and bet against this go around. From a strategy perspective, I like just about anything on this. I think you can sell puts and get a good ROI if you're willing to buy it. I like the 30 naked put. I believe the ROI is about a 25% return on that. I'll pull it up here real quick. So going out to the April 30, got about a 20 delta. You're getting $85, 84 on 300. So again, you're around that 25 to 30% ROI, which is fantastic by naked put standards. So if you wanted to cash flow it, I think you sell the 30 put. One other thing, I also think you could go directional on this because this has a history of running. A 35-40 bull call looks pretty good as well. For me, I would stick to April on that if I wanted to play it. So looking at the 35, buy the 35, sell the 40. You're paying $1.50. The thing I like about this is it's cheap enough where you don't need a stop loss. You pay the $1.46. If it works, great. If it doesn't, get shaken out. You're sure what you paid. You got a lot of potential upside. Risk reward's great on that.
I like this as well. And we pull up the weekly chart. An extra bonus of what I really like about that 30 naked put is that in 5 weeks, that's about where the 20 weekly will be. And that 20 weekly is something I call the most underrated indicator in technical analysis. And it will be about $30 in 5 weeks, maybe even a smidge higher at its rate. And we haven't tested that in a long time. So if you get put FCX, which I currently don't own, and I don't have any exposure to copper, very light on industrial metals, an area that I definitely would like some exposure to, that represents a quality pullback area. Wouldn't mind getting put the shares. Probably not, right? It's probably going to expire worthless, and that's a good ROI if it is. So, 3 for 3, love them all. Haven't loved your first 2 jokes, though, I'll be honest. But you've made me money on your JP Morgan and trades. So
save the best ones for last. Just be patient. All right, next one. You donate 1 kidney and everyone thinks you're a hero. You donate 5 and everyone thinks you're a monster.
All right, all right. A little Dexter humor.
Darkness reigns.
All right, that one made up. I like that one a lot. I like it when Tyler goes dark. And Greg, I almost always like your picks. Let's see what you got for us in round 3.
All right. Well, if he's going to go to cash flow, I am too. Let's go to Nike. Let's take a little gander at Nike here. All right. So love this for a lot of reasons. Earnings is coming up, so you have to be aware of that. I'm not really too concerned about that earnings for what I'm about to propose here. The reality is this thing has been in a very wide consolidation between $1.30 and $1.48 since essentially November. And every time it hits those two levels, it just turns and does an about face. And we just had that 4 days ago. You could actually play this directionally as well, because you've still got half of this wide consolidation. You could get in above where you are now. You could still get a $11 run, something like that, $10 or $11 run. So you could play that directionally. I'm not really thrilled about that trade, but what I do like about this nice wide consolidation and the fact that we've got our bounce off support is I love a credit spread here. If you go to the trade tab for me there, Ty, if you go to April 1st, which is 22 days out, so I'm going a little shorter term than I normally go, and I do that for a reason. If you go to the 130, which happens to be our support level, and then sell that and buy the 127, please. You're looking at 60 cents there, 22 days out for a $3 spread there. I think it's totally doable to get that 60 cents just from intraday movement.
And what month was that? What expiration month?
That's April 1st, April Fool's Day. Yeah. And so that's 60 cents on that $3 wide spread. That's 25% ROI. You're right below that support level there, or at that support level. Actually, I think you're a little bit below. 130 is just slightly below. It was resistance way back in October, September, October. Support again in November, support again in February, and now support again here. We've already got the upside movement. You've already got the confirmation that it's moving upward. I just like a little credit spread here, 25% ROI. I just think it's fantastic, and it's only a $3 wide spread, so your risk is not that great either. You're risking about $240 a contract. So you know what, as long as that falls within your risk tolerance, you could just let it work out. Or the better way to play that is have a stop, a point where you stop out of the trade, whether it be at the theta switch, your short strike, or break even at expiration. One of those 3 points is where I would stop out on this. So you're not really risking the whole 240 either.
All right, makes perfect sense. Straightforward. You like credit spreads, not a bad one. I want to hear a bad joke. But by bad, I mean good.
All right. I'm going to apologize to my buddy Tyler right now for this one. Priest is driving along a country road when a trooper pulls him over. He immediately smells alcohol in the priest's breath, and he notices an empty wine bottle in the car. The officer says, "Have you been drinking?" "Just water," says the priest. Cop says, "Well, why do I smell wine?" Priest looks at the bottle and says, "Good Lord, he's done it again."
There's a few religious folks that have said that joke in real life, maybe in similar circumstances over the years. I think that joke's based in reality. Reality is there have been some outstanding picks tonight. And if these two gentlemen, seriously, I hate declaring a winner at the end because they're so good at their job. And if you want to see them at their job, again and again, become a pro member at Tackle Trading. They both write blogs. They both write articles. They both are consistent report writers on our stock and option reports in the weekend. They host Traders Lounge. They are really, really good at their jobs, and they are just two of the many coaches we have at Tackle Trading. Give us a shot. Store tab. Go to Store tab. Fill out a 15-day free trial. It's worth the time to do so. I promise you that. Round 4. This is a good battle. Gosh, this is a good battle. You're giving me more trades than I know what to do with tomorrow. I'm going to have to make sure I don't abuse margin tomorrow. Tyler, to see what you got round 4.
Just to clarify, we're going 2 more rounds, right? I got 2 picks.
2 more rounds, 2 more picks.
Okay. I am going to go with. I'm going to go with discretionary stocks. Another sector for you here. GM. GM is perking right up here.
I wanted to see what that drawing was. It looked like it was like this new age.
I don't know what it was.
Robotic.
It's probably teaching something. GM has a pretty good history of breakouts over the last year.
No, I'm sorry to interject there, Tyler. You got that wrong. GM has a very good history of breakdowns.
And its stock price is replying to you, Greg. Scoreboard right now. Scoreboard is what the stock chart's saying. Well put. Well put. All right. So GM, massive run to start the year. By the way, just killed it in January. Bunch of money floods into this. It's spent. It peaked at Jan 21st. Been almost 2 months. 2-month base here. Not bad. Did not take out the 50 MA on that pullback last week. Already took out last week's high, now testing the high of the range here. This is a pretty good, not really a high base, more just a trading range because of how wide it is. But I like it a lot, actually. The volume patterns are great for me, too. You look at the last couple of up days, you got high volume on the up days. The down days haven't seen that much volume. So I feel like accumulation is still the trend here. You take a look at the weekly chart if you want to zoom out.
Alpha 9 on the weekly.
Yeah. So it's clean. It's clean. And very well behaved again this entire way up. And you could say, hey, hasn't it gone up a lot? Isn't this GM? The answer is yes and yes. And who cares? The market doesn't care. This is hot right now. It's kind of moving with the EV stuff. But noticeably, it didn't get smoked like all the other EV players last week when they killed momentum stocks. So maybe you get the best of both on those narratives. So simple play. I like it on a breakout. And the volatility is pretty low on this, the IV rank. So not really a cash flow play for me. I would more just go directional on a break it over 57. I think you could do a simple stock trade if you wanted to. But the April, buy the 57.50, which is just the first strike out of the money. Buy the April 57.50, sell the April 60. $60 is your target. And you can get a pretty good ROI on that. And I think it's totally doable. But you run the numbers, you're paying about 94 cents on a $2.50 spread. Call it $1. You're risking $1 to make $1.50. You could widen that out if you wanted to pay a little bit more, do a $5 spread. But ROI is compelling for me here.
No, I like that ROI, and I like one to make 150. Yeah, it seems like a good trade. Alpha 9 on the weekly. Now I wouldn't own GM at these levels, but I'm not trying to own it. I'm trying to trade it. That's a different.
I was actually going to make mention of that. Did you guys notice when you had the 3-year weekly on there, they cut their dividend completely?
Old Money Homes does not like GM.
No. I didn't like them when they were paying a dividend. I certainly don't like them now. So make sure, kids, this is swing trade material only.
Yes, this is not investing ideas, but I like something you said there on the best of both narratives, because there has been, and Ford has been picking on up too. You put up on a Ford chart. Both Ford and GM started earlier than Ford on the narrative.
Yep.
But they have been getting that EV narrative. One of the reasons I like Ford so much for bulk haul spreads is this year, and long-term ones, is there's going to be multiple catalysts. And I think you do get value and EV narratives. I think they work very, very well together, especially over there. Now, whether any given short-term trade works out, trading gods will determine, but I do like the risk reward. I like the trade. I would not invest. But once again, fixed full call, I like it. It's a cheap trade, I'll probably do it. All right, you made me laugh last round.
The police came to my front door tonight holding a picture of my wife. They said, "Is this your wife, sir?" Shocked, I answered, "Yes." They said, "I'm afraid it looks like she's been hit by a bus." I said, "I know, but she has a lovely personality."
And more darkness.
Sweet. She has a sweet spirit, as we like to say in Utah. She's got a sweet spirit.
That's right.
Greg, Do you have a
Yes,
sweet
sir.
spirit for me in round 4?
I certainly do. I've got
All right,
lots
I
of
want to
sweet
see it.
spirit.
I want to see it.
All right, I'm going back to the oil well again, just because I like it and it's doing well. Can you throw up a little ENB for me there, Tyler, please?
E.
NB, Enbridge.
Got it.
Enbridge, very simple. Another very simple play here. Again, it's gonna be along the lines of the CNQ. You can pick your poison here. This thing breakout of 36. It's showing resilience after even getting driven down a few times. Basically, running up to that 36 and failing. Well, it's only going to do that so many times before it smashes through the roof. Once it does, you're gonna get the run that I expect to get. Moreover, the reason I like Enbridge is they have us rock star dividend history. Years and years and years. Let me just look at the data here. Let's see. They have 19 years of consecutive dividend increases in this stock. And we all know what's gone on in, we've had oil at $140 a barrel. We've had oil at $25 a barrel. They just don't seem to care. They still keep cranking out those dividends. So I like this space. If you look at the 3-year weekly as well, for me, please, you've got once you get past where we are right now, this 36, your secondary targets are going to be out somewhere around that 42.50. So you've got a $6.50 move to get out to that, that old pivot point there. So you've got some room to run here. Like I said, a rock star dividend payer, trying to get back to this 45 level that it seemed to like so much a number of years ago, 15, 16, and 17 there. So again, just a very simple one here. Get involved with the stock, collect some dividends. It does covered call well. You can do, just for anybody that's watching, you can do both the American version that we're seeing here on the New York Stock Exchange, or you can do the Canadian version on the TSX as well. The option premiums are not as good on the TSX as they are on the New York Stock Exchange. But for this here, this is the kind of play where you can start to build out a position in here. And again, 19 years of consecutive dividend increases, very hard to beat, especially for this kind of quality company.
And that dividend was 7.3%. That was not insignificant. That's a big dividend.
Yeah, it's a rock star dividend for sure. And their payout ratio is not too bad. So it's a little high right now, but I don't see them cutting that dividend. Not after the number of years that they've got. They're going to do everything in their power to keep that dividend as high as it is. So
yeah.
I can't
You're
hear Mark.
muted, Mark.
Lost you, Mark.
Mark's figuring it out.
Technical difficulties.
I don't know how Mark
Please say
feels
more.
about it, Greg, but I thought it was a terrible pick.
Oh, thank you, Tyler.
How about now?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. This is why I like TradeMaster so much. I got a nice trade that I'm probably going to do in GM. Company I don't want to have anything to do with long term, but I see the analysis, I see the setup, and this just smells. I mean, look at this weekly setup, clearing the 200, high dividend pair. I got a short-term trade. I got a long-term investment idea. I can take these. I can go see where my existing exposure is in my short-term and my long-term portfolios. And I mean, it gives me things to think about tonight. Great picks, great setups. All 8. This has been 8 for 8 tonight on stuff that just makes sense for different reasons. This is why I love TradeMaster so much. Let's see if I love your joke, Greg.
All right, here comes the Canadian joke. So a guy goes ice fishing for the very first time. All of a sudden he hears a voice. There are no fish under the ice. He ignores it and he moves to another area, cuts another hole, and tosses his line in. Again, he hears the booming voice. There are no fish under the ice. He nervously looks up and asks, Lord, is that you? And in the background he hears, no, it's the rink manager.
Well done. All right, listen, this is close. You got one pick left. Bring your best.
One and done.
All right, so we've done an energy play, we've done a financial play, we've done materials, we've done discretionary. The one thing I have not done yet is thrown a bone to the bears. I'm going to end with a bear pick for you degenerates who like to lose money. If I were going to short a stock, I would go to one of the weak areas. You've got tech, you've got healthcare, you've got biotech. All their charts are still under pressure. So I looked at the tech sector, and you've got quite a few bear retracements in light of the recent bounce we just saw. So I want to look for a stock that is, fundamentally hasn't done well over the last couple earnings announcements and technically looks like garbage. And when I say those two things, what I think about is Salesforce. Salesforce.com has not had good reactions over its last two earnings announcements. The most recent one in particular, you've seen this thing really fall out of bed, broken some longer term support levels. In fact, yes, there we go, 200. Below all the MAs, including the 200, made a lower low with gusto on, meaning with momentum on this last drop. This rebound has been kind of pathetic, not near as robust as some of the other areas. And I just see the momentum slowing and think this thing could roll over, have another down leg. So relatively textbook bear retracement pattern here. I think if
go to the weekly chart real quick, Tyler.
Sure.
I mean, falling below the 50 weekly too.
Yeah. It's got room too, like 195 or so would be kind of your next level. You got,
It's got some real room down if if the whole market were to turn again.
Yeah, for sure. And mind you, this thing topped in August, for heaven's sakes. This didn't even participate in the November to now, ramp. So just completely riding the pine, baseball reference, sitting on the bench, sitting out, not participating. So look, if you think bears are going to run with it, which I don't, but if you did, this is the type of trade that would tempt me to take, right? Trigger is simple. The last 1, 2, 3, 4 candles have had higher lows. And so it's marching up, but you'll notice, like I said, not with much gusto. I mean, these are not compelling bullish candles. So I like this trigger below today's low. Okay. I would stop the high, probably maybe a little bit higher. So a little swing trade. I think you could short it. You want to do options. I think you buy the 210 put. I think you sell the 200 for April. You can get a pretty good potential risk reward with that. So just buying essentially the at the money and selling 10 points lower, paying $350 for a $10 spread. That's pretty straightforward. Paying $350 to make $650. Great risk reward, crap stock, one of the better. In fact, I think it's one of the best bear setups out there right now.
Yeah, and it's a compelling story for 7 months that leads up to like the analysis today, right? Lack of participation in the rally. Sure, there's been some moments here and there, but market just doesn't seem to like it. And those earnings reports are telling. Listen, don't have a lot of bearish delta. I'll definitely give it some consideration. We'll think about it tonight in evaluating my portfolio. Now, are you going to make me think about your joke tonight? Is what I really want.
I think you'll find this relevant to your life. My parents raised me as an only child, which really upsets my siblings.
Greg, you know what he did there? He knows I'm the oldest of the Justice clan.
Yeah,
he knows I'm the oldest child. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. Nice job, Tyler.
So.
See, that's what Tyler's good at. That's what Tyler's good at. Appealing to the judge. He should have been a lawyer. He should have been a lawyer.
All right. Last pick. You've had good ones tonight, Greg. Let's see what you got for us. Last pick.
All right. Well, I as much as I hate to say this because I feel like I'm a perennial bear, I'm not going to the bear side tonight. Tyler convinced me last night on the coach's show that's up is the right way to be. So I'm going with lows. Little lows action. So the reason I like this, obviously came down, put in that double bottom around the $1.50 mark there, showed a lot of strength to get back to where it is. It's now above those moving averages, all of them. I really like this for a bunch of reasons, really. There's some fundamental stuff in here, as well as the technical pattern. But what I like most about this here is if you look at XHB home builders, I believe it broke out today. It just broke out to another all-time high there. So we've got some strength in the home builders ETF. That's going to help our cause with lows here. The other part I like about this is the setup. So looking at the 170, 180 call spread, bull call spread. So getting in above right where we are, right? So right above that 170 mark there, getting in above there, I think you get to 180 pretty darn easily, okay? And if you look at I believe I went, what did I make this one? This one was only, I think it was 44 days. So look at 23rd of April, the weeklies. I think I went 44 days here. Let's look at the 170 and sell the 180. Yep, 309 debit. So you're looking at $309 per contract, potential 10 out of that. So you're definitely 2 to 1 here. So not an issue that way. The other thing that I like about this, we're starting to see a little uptick in inflation. Over the long term, that's maybe not the best thing for home builders, but in the short term, it's rising those prices, and the rising of those prices is going to make more money for these big box construction stores. So I like the fact that we got a little bit of catalyst behind it as well. Simple, trade plan here is to do that bull call, get that run up to 180, and then see where it goes from there. Obviously, it's going to have some resistance at 180, but hey, maybe it continues on further than that. If it does, then you could always roll the bull call up if that's the way it plays out. So just a nice, not a hard trade here, not a difficult trade, just a simple. Let's see if it continues. Where it's sitting right now, I really don't see anything stopping it until it gets to 180.
All right. Make us laugh, Greg. It's been a great show. Lots to think about. I mean, this is what I love. Take those picks and do your own due diligence. Do your own stuff tonight. If you're looking to place them, if you're watching this on replay in a couple of days, setups might have changed. But lots of great material to work with. And I seriously, on behalf of lots and lots of people, thank you both for your time and making us some money. I really do appreciate it, genuinely.
All right, I'm going to get you to choose your own adventure joke here. Do you want the Canadian joke? Do you want the Canadian joke or the drinking joke?
I want the Canadian joke.
All right. I'm sorry and I apologize mean the same thing, except at a funeral. See, Tyler's not the only one that gets to go dark.
I think you each brought a Dexter type joke tonight.
Yeah.
Listen, it's good. And listen, Traders Lounge tonight for pro members. Greg will be on there tonight. Greg Holmes will be coaching tonight. Traders Lounge is great, right? Students ask questions. You never know when you host a Traders Lounge, you don't really know what is going to happen, do you?
It's a free-for-all. It's awesome.
Sometimes you end up talking about nothing but one subject. Sometimes it's like potluck dinner.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's like I said, it's like getting in a room with some traders and just kind of bouncing ideas off and looking at things. It's a lot of fun. I'll be doing the lounge tonight at 8:30, and then I'll be doing the lounge again tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. So I get a double dose of the lounge over the next day or two. So that's awesome.
And when markets are going like this, it's really important to ask questions. This is why, trading's not an isolation game. You're doing it wrong if it is. And having a place, if you have questions, lounge is a great place to come and ask and experience your questions. And I know you're doing lounge, and I'm gonna have to say I'm sorry to you, Greg, because I'm going to take EMB and CNQ, but I'm giving the victory to Tyler tonight. Diversity of picks, and I really liked it. And when I make thousands of dollars on ENB or CNQ over the years, I'm going to really feel guilty because I am going to buy one of those long term.
So are you going to say you're sorry or you're going to apologize?
I'm going to say I'm sorry.
I see what you did there. Well done. Well done.
And if there's any solace, it's probably because Tyler sucked up to me, and you know.
I 100% agree with that. I've seen that movie before, so that's okay.
Congratulations, Tyler, as the victor tonight. You get the last word.
Listen, it's been a bit, okay, but I'm back on top. I'm going to be here for a while, so just get used to it.
You know how humble he's been lately.
The humility, it just oozes out of him.
Flipped on a dime, boys. I'm back. Flipped on a dime.
Everyone, thank you. Listen, we got the best community in the world. I really, really do believe that. I love our community. I love our coaches. It really makes not just my trading more profitable, my life more enjoyable. Come give us a shot. If you're not, you can email at team@tackletrading. I'll give you any details or anything you want. Have a wonderful night. And Greg,